If I opened a box and found spiders, I wouldn't assume somebody put them in there. In fact, that would be really difficult for me to prove.
If you had stolen, if that was your 38th package you took off somebody's porch that day, maybe you would.
Well, back to Under Oath. We're going to switch things up a little bit. We're just going to pull this stuff blind.
Pull it right out of our...
Just pull it right out of the glass. Bowl of death.
I'm going to pull it right out of our glass.
The bowl of death.
All right, here we go. Texas man was attacked by black widow spiders after he opened a box he stole off a woman's front porch. He is now trying to sue her for setting up an illegal booby trap. She claims that it was just a cardboard terrarium where she was keeping her pet spiders and is now suing him for pet theft and murder. Pet theft and murder.
She's saying they murdered the
spiders?
Yes, which we know is silly.
Oh, because he killed them when they bit him?
I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how interesting.
Okay. Well, we do know.
So this is a porch pirate. Like, they exist. They run around the world. They look for packages outside of homes where they think no one's home. Yeah, that's one of the scummiest things you can do.
Now, let me tell you this. As an attorney, the attorney representing this porch pirate knows that he's going to have a problem because the jury is going to hate his client. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have a case. I'm just saying you have a absolutely, what's the word called? Unsympathetic client, where they are going to hate your client, and you better hope they hate the owner of the house so much that they're willing to forgive that.
If I'm representing the guy who's stole the spiders, if I'm representing him, is there a way for me to keep that away from the jury? That
no,
I was there stealing something.
No,
I would have to try to do that. Wouldn't I?
How would you?
I don't know. How would you? I would have to say that it was so prejudicial. The prejudicial effect outweighs the probative value.
The fact is this. Of course it's prejudice. You were doing something bad on the property, and you can't claim it's a past bad act. It was your bad act that caused this to happen.
Bad act. I was in the process.
So that you normally can't bring up bad acts. Like, let's say he stole something once before 20 years ago, stole a bike. I can't bring that up. But if he has a habit of stealing the same bike, the same way, with the same pattern and everything else like that, I might be able to bring it in. But I don't think you're going to be able to keep this out. Now, the question is this. They're going to say, well,
the reason I'm on the property. So that comes in.
Is it a hidden danger?
Well, we just had, not too very long ago, we had a discussion about what would happen if you had a dorm room with other college students and you said, hey, don't go in there. And you agreed in that episode that if you left a bear trap on your floor, a loaded
bear trap, I'd be screwed.
And if somebody did happen to go in the room, even if you had the keep out sign, right?
Right.
So what duty does a homeowner owe to people who come on to their property to steal things? And does that matter? Like, do you owe a different duty to people who come on to steal versus people you say, hey, come on over for lemonade at 4:00?
It's the trespasser rule. It doesn't matter what you are doing. Trespassing is a crime too. You illegally trespassed onto this property, whether you took something or not, or your point was to take something or not. Your point was you went on the property with illegal intent.
Jeff, you know what's interesting, though, about this is in Florida, there is a discovered trespasser rule. Like, if you're the landowner and you discover somebody who is trespassing,
somebody's walking through your thing.
Believe it or not, I mean, I know people don't want to hear this, but you have a duty to warn them, to protect them of dangers that are hidden that they wouldn't be able to observe.
Well, there's a reason for that. And I know a lot of people out there go, well, that seems not right. Remember when you used to cut through somebody's property as a shortcut? That was the idea. Not that you're going into their property to do illegal stuff, but you just walked across their property to get somewhere else.
Yeah, the idea for passing the law, but that's not how it's applied.
Well, I think in a situation like this one, I'm actually going to take the bad guy.
You're the porch pirate guy?
I'm going to take the porch pirate.
All right.
Okay. You know why? Because I realized I'm good.
Why is that?
It's inherently dangerous. A box of black widows.
Black widow spiders.
Yes. A box of black widow spiders are the same as, let's say, I'm transporting nuclear material.
Well,
it's inherently dangerous. Of course, it's inherent. You could die from a bite. You know you can die from a bite.
Well, you could.
Oh, yes, you could.
You could.
You could die. You could lose a limb. These are inherently dangerous. and you just have them sitting on your porch. It doesn't matter what I would.
So your argument would be, okay, this is unreasonably dangerous.
Yes.
You have a duty to warn people, even trespassers,
Right.
even people that aren't on your property.
Right.
Hey, by the way, be careful. I know I told you to stay off my yard, but if you're going to come on it, by the way, there's a landmine right there. Don't step on it.
Would it change your mind if, let's say, I said it was rattlesnakes in there?
No, that's equivalent. Black widows, rattlesnakes. You get bit, you might
So
die.
there is
That's
no
true.
way. There is no way that if this is this woman's argument that she was storing her black widows on a box on her porch, which we know is BS. You know, you and I both feel the BS factor there.
You want to know what I think really happened?
I know what
I think her and her neighbors.
Some people might think this. We're not saying she particularly did this,
Well, it
but we can
sounds-
see this happening.
It sounds like a situation
It feels like it.
where a person might get sick and tired of the porch pirates hitting their particular road and decide, I'm going to teach these MFers a lesson.
This is what some people would do. I'm not saying this is what this woman
She
would
may
do.
not have. It may have been her. She may have named every one of those spiders. I don't know.
Her argument, which I can see based on what I do for a living, why somebody might think that's an okay option.
There's another issue, though. There's another issue that we're missing.
What's the issue?
If you're representing the porch pirate,
I'm the porch pirate.
I have, and you're suing me for negligence. I have a pretty good defense in that you are, and Texas has this, comparatively negligent.
Right.
So it is mostly your fault that you got bit by the spiders, because if you hadn't have been doing something unreasonable yourself, I think we all agree stealing things off other people's porch is unreasonable.
Defending
If you hadn't have been doing that, you wouldn't have been bit.
problem you have is this. It's also a crime. What she did.
What she did, the lady who
If they
set
weren't
up the-
pets, she committed a felony.
She said a deadly trap or
It's
a
a deadly
potentially
trap. Oh, yeah.
deadly trap. That is the incorrect response for people stealing your things. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
So there are a couple things. And I think when you're going to talk about this, you're going to, it's offensive. But what if it was a grenade? Would you feel differently about it? And that's why I upped the ante to a rattlesnake.
Oh, so if you lift up the box and it was attached to a grenade and all of a sudden you got 4 seconds before this thing goes off, yeah.
Yeah, you would go, that's ridiculous.
But you're almost assured that you're going to seriously maim or injure the person. When you have a box of spiders, though, you're not necessarily, it's not the same level of assurance that the person's going to get hurt.
Rattlesnake?
They might see it and go, and get freaked
Rattlesnake?
out. Again, you don't know that the rattlesnake's going to bite him. It might strike at him and
We're
not
in
hit him.
Texas. They know. Texas jury knows. Texas jury might forgive her, but also there's something else too. If she just came clean, it's a terrible lie. What you should-
Yeah, that's true. They're not going to. Jury's not going to like her when she comes up and says, "Oh, well, those are just my pet spiders." No, you're right. Her best defense is, "Yeah, I put it there. I'm sick and tired of these people doing these things in our community,
Actually, the best argument
and
is
it's his fault too. It's probably more his fault than it is mine."
okay. Here's the things. Here's his lawyer. This is what I'm going to do. When did you buy these spiders? 3 days before that day. She set up a deadly trap. Now, here's what I'm thinking. Just as a
Are you thinking as the attorney representing the porch pirate, or are you just
no,
Are you trying to be
I'm-
the judge now?
I'm riffing now.
Okay.
I'm riffing because you and I have been in this business a long time. Okay. You get a call. Hey, I'm getting sued. The porch pirate is upset about the black widows.
I'm defending.
Okay. And I'm sitting here and realize as the attorney for the homeowners, the insurance who's the one handling this lawsuit. The homeowner's insurance is handling this.
That's probably true if there is homeowners insurance.
So what happens is this. The lady, I said, why do you have that? Now, if I'm the lady, and we're doing hypotheticals. I'm not saying she did this. But all right, first lie, I don't know how it got in there, which I think is the better lie. Unless there's proof that I just bought these SOBs. Because they have to prove I put it in there.
Well, wouldn't you be able to prove that by circumstantial evidence? There was nothing else in the box.
I don't know.
Like you can't say that
They crawled in there.
You just happened to have the box.
They just lived there. They just came in.
I just left the box.
They just entered the box. If I opened a box and found spiders, I wouldn't assume somebody put them in there. In fact, that would be really difficult for me to prove.
If you had stolen, if that was your 38th package you took off somebody's porch that day, maybe you would.
Well, no, I'm thinking about this way. How would I prove that she put them in there?
Circumstantial evidence.
Well, what? What circumstantial? I had a box on my porch.
Circumstances establish that she probably put them in there.
There's no
That's
problem.
what circumstantial evidence is.
What bit of evidence do you have that I put the spider in there?
As opposed to the neighbor?
No.
The fact that it's on your porch. In a conspicuously observable position from the road, you put that box where it could be viewed from the road. So you look at all the circumstances.
So the argument behind it is, hey, guess what?
Well, if you're making me represent her, I got to come up with something.
No, but
I'm not going to just show up and say,
you have to put your case
right.
out. You got to prove your case. I don't have to prove my case.
Defendant never has to prove their case.
Well, I've already covered that. The idea that you'd have to prove I bought it. Okay, number one, where did I buy it?
No, you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to prove that they were purchased because they don't have to be purchased.
Okay, so I found it, and I put it in there. What evidence do you have that I did that?
The fact that they're all there and that's all that's there.
I don't know. There was a box on my porch.
That's circumstantial evidence.
That's what spiders do. That they crawl into crap.
Yeah.
You have to prove that how open it was.
They do that, and they also, when you round them up and capture them and put them in a box with each other.
I don't know what you're talking about?
Yes, and the law expects that the people who do things wrong are not going to admit it. That's why circumstantial evidence is a concept.
Okay. Lawyer Craig?
Yes.
This is your case.
Which one? Am I defendant or am I porch pirate?
Oh, you're the porch pirate now.
Okay.
Are you going to take this case forward? Not just, I'm not asking you if you have to and I put a gun to your head. The guy winds up in the hospital
I'll tell you what.
3 weeks.
I'm confident enough that I think I could survive summary judgment.
Okay, that's not fair. What he's saying is that the judge, the facts most favorable, might be, but a jury. You think a jury?
No, I wouldn't take it to trial, but I would file on it, and I would bluff because it's going to cost the homeowner's insurance company a certain amount of money to defend the case, even if they're expecting to win.
For the future, people, I would go with the Arnold Drummond defense.
What you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis? I think in this case, the idea of saying these were my pets and I left them on my porch, not great. On that note, I think Craig and I will both bow out and say, flip a coin.